Hello EFD squad and welcome back to Euro Roundup. Now today, you might have noticed I don't have Chris Hamill next to me. I have...
Michael McCubbin. An absolute treat for you all, I'm sure you'll agree.
Yes indeed, and we've got more of those coming up. We start with Bayern Munich in the winners. What happened with them?
Well, thanks to @Madinanem for sending this one in. Yes, Bayern Munich thrashed Freiburg 5-0 in manager Jupp Heynckes' first match back in charge of the Bavarian Giants. He's become the third oldest coach in Bundesliga history, 72 years and 158 days, but he clearly hasn't lost it. Alaba, Jerome Boateng, Martinez, Müller and Robben all started, and they all started in his last game, which was the DFB Pokal final against Stuttgart back in 2013. And coming into this game, Bayern had played Freiburg 17 times at home. They'd won 15, scored 46 and conceded just 9.
So not a bad one. Not a bad one to come back in.
Not a bad one to come back in on at all. They dominated possession, 68%, 23 shots to Freiburg, 6 and 10 on target to 2. So there is no surprises that they won so comfortably here. Their opener was the fastest goal of the Bundesliga season for Bayern so far at 8 minutes. Kingsley Coman, who was making his 50th Bundesliga appearance, also scored. He has now scored 7 Bundesliga goals since he joined Bayern, but this was the first with his head. Little stat for you there. But you're going to talk about someone else who impressed.
Yeah, some of the other goal scorers. Joshua Kimmich got on the score sheet. He's now had a hand in 7 Bayern goals this season, with 2 goals and 5 assists. That actually means that he's been involved in more goals than any other Bayern player except for Robert Lewandowski, who of course got on the score sheet too. He's now got 13 in 12 Bundesliga games against Freiburg, and he's got 13 goals in the Bundesliga for Bayern this season as well. He's got 160 in the tournament overall in the course of his career at Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich. That means he's 12th in the all-time scorers list. That's pretty damn impressive. Bayern, of course, still in second, 2 points behind Borussia Dortmund. And one worry for them might be that James Rodriguez, who they were so excited about getting this summer, was an unused substitute. There are rumours that Heynckes doesn't like him, and apparently there's talk he could go to the MLS, which seems
a waste.
Well, it seems a little bit early for that. That's kind of a 3-4 years time sort of thing. But I tell you who could use him. Arsenal. Get on a plane, James. Come on, mate. What are you doing? What do you think of Bayern, though? Are they going to win the league?
Don't know, but what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below.
Dodge the question.
Now our first loser comes in from Omkar SW. He says Borussia Dortmund should be on our losers this week. And why is that, Pato?
They lost 3-2 at home to RB Leipzig. And that ends their unbeaten start to the season in the league at least. They'd actually gone 41 games unbeaten at home. Their last loss was on the 4th of April, 2015. That was 924 days ago. No prizes for guessing who it came against. It was Bayern Munich, of course. This has actually been an underrated achievement of the Thomas Tuchel era, right? That it really was a fortress, the Westfalenstadion. And in this game, they might have deserved a little bit better. They had 65% possession. They had 15 shots to 7. They had 8 on target to RB's 6. Leipzig didn't even use Timo Werner in this game. He stayed on the bench. He's already got 6 this season, but probably they want to rest him for that Champions League game against Porto. So instead, their goals came from Augustin, Poulsen and Sabitzer, and their average age is 22. Now, the guy who came in as well for Werner in this game was Bruma, and he was absolutely sensational. His assist for Poulsen's goal, he actually nutmegs the keeper to set up that goal.
Cheeky.
It's mental.
So good.
Yeah, anyway, you tell me a little bit about Dortmund.
Yes, despite the disappointing result for Dortmund, there was one man who was on fire. As always, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang scored 2 on the day. He now has 10 Bundesliga goals in just 8 games. That means he's averaging a strike every 72 minutes. But it wasn't up top where their problems lay. It was back in defence. Peter Bosz slammed their frail defensive display, and it's no wonder why. From their starting 11, only 2 players won more than 1 tackle. Compare that to Naby Keita, who made 8 tackles and interceptions all game. You can see where the battle was won. Socrates was also shown a straight red card for Dortmund, as was RB player Ilsakner, who was shown 2 yellows within 2 minutes. So a feisty affair here. Despite the defeat, though, Dortmund are still top of the table on 19 points, but they lose ground with Bayern second now on 17 points, just 2 points behind, and RB Leipzig now third on 16 points. So the title race is hotting up.
Our next one is a Lazio. This comes courtesy of @BenHislop21. Thank you very much. What happened to Lazio this weekend?
Well, they were breaking hearts in Turin this weekend. Ciro Immobile scored both goals as Lazio came from behind to beat Juve 2-1 away. It was Immobile's 11th goal in 8 games. He's absolutely on fire this season. Juve actually took the lead through Douglas Costa, who scored his first goal for the club, so that's a positive at least, but they did end up succumbing to their first league defeats of the season and their first defeat at home in the league in 42 games. Their last defeat in Turin came against Udinese back in August 2015, so the fortress has finally been broken, as has Dybala's scoring form, it seems. He missed a penalty late on, which was given through VAR, and it's actually his second consecutive miss from the spot, having scored his previous 13 in a row. Juve also had 57% possession, but could only create 7 chances, so something's going on there, only 2 of which were on target as well. Juve also dominated possession, 57%, but they could only create 7 chances from that, and from that they could only manage 2 shots on target. Not what we're used to seeing from the old lady. Why do you think that is, Pato?
Well, Allegri decided to bench Dybala at the beginning of this game and put Costa and Mandzukic either side of Higuain, and needless to say, it didn't quite work out. This is Lazio's first league win away at Juventus for 14 years. In that time, they've had 10 defeats and 3 draws. And like you said, Immobile was absolutely incredible, by the way, in this game. I mean, he's now got 15 goals this season in all competitions. That's the top of any player in Europe's top 5 leagues. The last player to score a brace away to Juventus was Sully Muntari in October 2013. There's a niche fact for you. Higuain has failed to score in 3 consecutive home games. That's the first time that's happened since January 2015. But it's a different story for Lazio. They're up to 4th. They've scored 21 goals so far. That's their best tally after 8 games since 1942-43, when the league had a slightly different complexion, I imagine.
Mussolini was still in power then as well.
Well, yeah, pretty much. But they probably love that, though, because they are quite a fascist club. They remain 5 points off leaders Napoli. Juventus have dropped down to 3rd. But we want to know from you, who is going to win the Italian league? Vote in the poll above my head right now.
We stay in Italy for our second loser of the week, and this comes from @GunaJHH. Thank you for sending this one in. It's AC Milan. Why is that, Pato?
Well, they faced rivals Inter in the Derby della Madonnina, and they lost 3-2 to move down to 10th in Serie A. Now, actually in their last 3 games against Inter, they've scored 6 goals, but they failed to win every one. 2 draws and a loss now. But this was a really dramatic derby. Now, Milan had the better of the possession, nearly 60%. They had 21 shots to Inter's 15. There were 8 yellow cards, by the way. But where Inter excelled was in creating big chances. They were great on the counter-attack. They created 3 clear-cut chances, while Milan created 0. So that's really interesting there. Now, Icardi got a penalty right at the death. It was a bit controversial, and that condemned Milan to a 3rd successive Serie A defeat, whereas Inter move up to 2nd after that Juve loss, and they've dropped just 2 points so far this year. So Spalletti working wonders, Montella having a rough time.
Indeed, Pat, and there's no prizes for guessing who was the man of the match here. Of course, it was Mauro Icardi. His hat-trick means he now has 9 goals in 8 Serie A games this season. That does include 3 penalties, but of course, the one here was decisive. The Inter captain had 4 shots, created 2 chances, and had 82% passing. He has now contributed to 41 goals in his last 42 Serie A appearances.
That is absolutely nuts.
Crazy. I think that's 33 goals and 8 assists, so you can definitely see who is carrying this team. Milan, on the other hand, are already 12 points off leaders Napoli after just 8 games, and they are now just 7 points above the relegation places. Woo! Pretty nuts considering the amount of money they spent in the summer.
Yeah.
Pressure on the manager, but Montella is confident he'll keep the job. He said that results are not there, obviously, but the club have faith in me. We'll see how that one pans out. Apparently he has been given a vote of confidence, which according to Joe Tomlinson and many others is a sign of the Grim Reaper coming in the future. Didn't word that very well, but I'll carry on. Inter will go top next weekend if they beat Napoli away. So that is a massive clash. Watch out for that. But who do you think will win, Inter or Napoli? Vote in the poll.
Our final winner of the week is Nabil Fekir. This comes from @JackDavisSC. McCubbin, tell me about the little Frenchman.
Yes, well, he was on an absolute fire this weekend as Lyon beat Monaco 3-2 at home. in the race for second place in the league. Don't know if that's true, you know, PSG probably will run away with it. But before this game, Lyon had won just one of their previous 6 league-earned games, 4 draws and 1 loss. Not in good form at all, but Fekir obviously brought them out. They also came into this game out of form against their opponents. They'd lost 2 of their previous 4 league-earned meetings against Monaco. To put that in perspective, they'd only lost 2 of their previous 21 before that. And it was an action-packed first half. 4 goals from just 7 on target between the 2 teams, but it took until the 95th minute for another to come in. And captain fantastic, man of the moment, Nabil Fekir, netted a 35-yard free kick, an absolute beauty to secure all 3 points. That's his 7th goal in 9 league-earned games this campaign, with 4 assists to boot. That's his absolutely outrageous form from Fekir. And looking at his performance here, it's no wonder why he is making those kind of numbers. He made 7 key passes in this game, completed 2 dribbles, and had 2 shots on target. Both of them went in, obviously. And this is just another home win for Lyon, isn't it, Pato?
Yeah, well, they've actually scored more goals at home than any other team in Ligue 1 in 2017. Wow. They've got 44, and they could have had more in this game. Bertrand Traoré and Lucas Touzard, as well as Mariano Diaz, they all hit the post in this match. And Lyon were generally on top. They had 61% of the possession, but both sides had 7 shots on target for a total of 14. Now, the average game sees about 8 shots on target, so you can see how much kind of penetration there was at both ends. I think that Monaco probably could have used Radamel Falcao here. Obviously, he's averaging 1.6 goals per 90 minutes so far this season. And so I think he might have made the difference on the day. Lyon are now in 5th. They're 3 points behind Monaco, who are in 2nd. So it's very tight. Claudio Ranieri's Nantes are in there, and Saint-Etienne are up there too. But we want to know from you, can any one of them challenge Paris Saint-Germain for the title? Let us know in the comments below.
So we go back to Germany now for our final losers of the weekend. This comes from @P. Tinnemeyer. Thank you very much. He thinks that Werder Bremen should be in there this week after their game against Borussia Mönchengladbach. What happened there, Pat?
Yeah, they lost 2-0 to Mönchengladbach. They remain in 19th in the Bundesliga. And now since 2012, they've only beaten Die Fohlen once in the league. They've lost to them 7 times. Their form at the moment is absolutely shocking. It's their 4th loss of the season. They're still without a win after 8 games. They failed to score in the last 3. And 3 of those losses that they've had have actually come at home, meaning they've earned just 1 point at the Weserstadion this season. And that was against Freiburg, who are also in trouble. They just simply cannot get a chance at the moment. I don't know what's going on with them. But Gladbach, pretty solid, aren't they?
Yes, the visitors were very strong defensively here. They won 64% of their aerial duels. They got 4 blocks in to Werder's 0, and they headed the ball away 11 times compared to Werder, who only managed it 3 times. Clearly the stronger team in their own box. Lars Stindl opened the scoring with his 3rd of the season, and former Werder centre-back came back to bite his former club. Yannick Vestergaard headed the 2nd just 7 minutes after the 1st to open his 17-18 account. He got 4 in the Bully last season, so watch out for this goal-scoring centre-back. But Stindl was the star man. 1 goal from 2 shots, 2 chances created as well, 86% passing, and he also won 3 aerial duels. And now the Bundesliga table is looking very strange indeed. Werder, Freiburg and Köln all make up the bottom 3. They all finished in the top half last season, so not sure what's going on there. And Die Werder are on a travel to Köln next weekend, both looking for their 1st win of the season. Both in terrible, terrible form. So what a way to end the show.
So that was this week's Euro Roundup, but who do we miss out and who should we have included? Let us know in the comments below. McCubbin, what should they do after this?
Well, they should go over to 90+1 Facts and give our friend Kieran some love. 90+1 Facts about Neymar this weekend, an absolute cracker as always. And also don't forget to follow FDFC on Instagram, FDFC_UK. Lots of exciting developments going on there. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Bye.